What's up, people? Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as that bell icon to be notified for future content. Thanks, guys. What's up, people? What's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's the Honorable Senpai. And with me, I have a guest, my homie, my partner in crime, the introverted savage. I have ifightevil here. Say what up.
What's going on, y'all? You're doing too much, bro. You're doing too much.
Stop it.
Doing too much.
Jesus Christ, man. I just try to give my people some shine and y'all just do me like that. Bet. Alright, so me and the homie were talking, and then we're in the midst of the NBA playoffs. I know maybe a lot of people that watch the channel don't even care about sports like that. But just watching basketball had us thinking about basketball, and then we thought about one of the, I guess, the OGs of this sports anime shit. One of the first ones to ever do it in the sport of basketball, and that would be Slam Dunk. Now there's been many iterations of anime, like what was it? It was Dear Boys that dealt with basketball.
Yeah,
it was some other crap.
There was some Roku.
Oh, don't even talk about that pedo shit. Yeah, we had a whole bunch of other stuff in that. But the question I want to pose to you is, would you care to watch a remake or retelling of Slam Dunk with it, in 2018, 2019? So yeah, kind of forgot to tell you what Slam Dunk is. And I know a lot of people are just like, huh, what is that? So without further ado, let me go ahead and give you a brief synopsis of what Slam Dunk is before we get into the rest of the conversation. Slam Dunk follows the story of our protagonist Hanamichi Sakuragi, who is known for his infamous temper, massive height, and fire red hair. Sakuragi is just recently enrolled in Shohaku High School in hopes of finally getting a girlfriend and breaking his 50 consecutive rejection streak. However, his notoriety precedes him, and after a few unfortunate events, he is left with two unwavering thoughts. 1. I hate basketball. 2. I really need the cheeks. Alright, maybe not the last one, but you get the picture. My man's needed something tender to hold on to at night. His significant other. The one that makes his heart flutter. His rib, if you will. Luckily for Sakuragi, one day he's approached by a girl named Haruko Akagi, who, without any prior knowledge of his past or any of the events that preceded their meeting, asks if he loves basketball in order to recruit him into the high school's basketball club. And from there, Hanamichi slowly but surely falls in love not only with Haruko, but with the game of basketball itself. And if you did, what would they have to change, or what would they have to tweak in order for you to, really, really be into it?
Man, alright. If they were to redo Slam Dunk, first and foremost, they'd have to have the right animation to do that, and the right character aesthetics. So if they can get away from I guess what they did with Kuroko no Basket, in terms of just the ridiculousness of what was going on the court, I think it'll be fine. It's in terms of how it would actually look. That's a toss up, because part of me wants to go if we talking about sports anime, you can kind of go with something more vintage, do an updated, more cleaner aesthetic of how Hajime no Ippo has. You could do something like that type of character design, just bring it to 2018. That'd be cool. You can have that vintage, kind of how Megalobox does. You can still see a lot of the Ashita no Joe in Megalobox, but it's crisper, it's a lot cleaner. Somebody
actually, why don't you just get from Kuroko no Basket, they did get the animations right. When they did the close up to the duels and everything, especially with Kagami and Amine or whatever, when they were going at it, I would love that kind of animation in Slam Dunk realism. So basically, Slam Dunk is a more realistic version compared to Kuroko no Basket with Hadokens and like Spirit Bomb basketballs and shit. So
right.
I mean, it would be dope. It would. I think I would be down for it. I would be down for like a good, like, I guess, not to say Kuroko no Basket doesn't have a good, like, I guess, representation of like basketball, but they really hit the surface, especially when they tried to explain like the rules and shit. Like if you remember I Shield 2020, I Shield 21, I'm about to say 2021. If you remember I Shield before like almost every episode or before every match would have like one of the basic rules, like you have to get 10 yards to get a first down, or you know, a quarterback always does a 7-foot drop or something. They'll have like some fun facts in there.
That'll be cool.
It'll be dope if like, cause Kuroko didn't have that. They just had brief explanations of it, but it was completely exaggerated. But I think with Slam Dunk, you can actually like, it'll be a good teaching tool too. Especially for young kids coming up. Well, I wouldn't say nowadays, because I think basketball is pretty much international, where a lot of people are already kind of in Japan, like kind of like just, you know, gravitate towards, or they gravitate towards the main athletes. But Slam Dunk right now, if it were to drop now, for me, it would literally have to. I would prefer the same story, but I would like it extended. So after the conclusion in the manga and the anime, I would like it extended to like what happens the next year when all the 30 years go, and when this cat went to America, how's he doing in America? Did the main cat, who was Hanamichi Sakuragi, did he like end up going to America after he rehabilitated? I would want a I guess a remake finishing out the story. In a sense, because it wasn't finished to me.
I would agree with that. I think the real thing here is with something, because when you take something classic like Slam Dunk, you already have a very tenured audience like for that. That's a very like, you know, I guess when it comes to like sports anime, that's a pretty like venerated like anime. So if you're gonna do that, like right now, in terms of like retellings, it has to be at least as good as like the Hunter x Hunter like retelling. Like it has to be. That's my standard right now, because I thought like the retelling of Hunter x Hunter was pretty solid. It had its issues, but like overall, I thought it was a good like second take on it. Now, getting into what you were saying about like Kuroko's like animation, like it's.
I just realized something. Toei Animation was in charge of this. Was in charge of the animation for
what else have they done though?
Dragon Ball? What do you mean they ain't done? What are you talking about?
You said who?
Toei Animation. I know I probably slaughtered that name, but Toei.
Well, see, the thing about that
is, you know what I mean.
But they did Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Okay. What? See, that works for like that animation is like very good for like that time. And I love Dragon Ball.
I mean, remember this thing came out in the 90s.
Don't get me wrong, it's dope.
Well, early 90s, like 92, 96, I think.
And that's cool. Like I said, like, but if you want to try to recapture an audience, bring back like old fans of the series while capturing like new people, you have to bridge that gap. And like how you bridge that gap is like not necessarily purely on aesthetics, but you have to have really good character design in terms of like, you know, obviously like drawing like how the characters look, and you have to have like animation that makes sense. Like there's like Kuroko had that like you know,
with that stupid breaking shot that this cat just threw the ball. He got mad at so he's like,
not just that, where like it was like way too like heavy handed, where like like the skill of the players felt like supernatural.
Yeah,
and
you
like
gotta have that feeling. Okay, I think you can do this for Slam Dunk. You can have a supernatural effect, like when the cat enters the zone instead of this lightning bullshit, you can have like a cat just like, you just see like it just get dark and the light highlights them.
But see, that's what I'm saying. There's
That'd be a realistic, like, I guess a realistic aesthetic of a cat's mental when he's like in that state or whatever.
That's a way to do that. That's what I'm saying. It's like if you're doing like a 1-on-1, it's like you got your ball handler, you got a defender. There's a way to do that without having like something ridiculous like he does a crossover and like the floor starts breaking up for no reason. Like that's
that
too
never
much.
Happens, sir.
No, I know. I'm just saying. Like
I wouldn't allow the slander of Kuroko Basket.
That would be ridiculous. Like that's why Slam Dunk is so good. Cool. It'd be cool, but like, man, come on. Like you gotta think about it. You see crazy stuff like that for like 8 episodes, you be like, all right, come on, man.
I mean, dog, we saw a cat with like that went Super Saiyan 2 dribbling the ball and then like a pass thrown that looked like a goddamn Kamehameha, and this cat just caught it and he's looking around like, y'all saw that wind pressure, y'all saw me look cool.
Too much. That's too much. Is what I'm saying. Like,
it kept you interested.
Cool, but like, I'm like, all right.
You like the green glow in Hajime no Ippo?
Ippo made sense though. Like when he did like
it made sense when you get knocked out and you look up, got green goo in your eyes.
it still made sense though. Like when Ippo did like the Dempsey roll for the first time, like they the wind effects on that made sense. Like it made sense in terms of like motion and like the dynamic. Like movement that made sense, and then like when he stopped and you saw his muscles tearing in his knees, that's dope. Do more of that. I would love to see like somebody snatch a rebound and then like you
want to hear the big clap.
That like put a thunder sound effect around that, or like I don't want to see him like hit the ground and then there's a crater. I'm like, no.
I mean that never happened. It'd be kind of cool if it happened.
That takes away like
okay.
Slam Dunk's supposed to be more grounded. Like
okay.
I would love to see it like Ippo's a good example. Put it like this. You remember when like iShield first started popping? He was like, all right, this is dope. Then iShield quickly jumped out the window.
Yeah, boy, this is like a 5'11" cat that's mossing over 6'9" cats. They play American Dog. Remember when they played America and you got only one legit lineman, everybody else is like freaking like pencils or whatever, and they over here holding the line. This cat dropping back like Tom Brady, throwing it to this 5'11" cat that's guarded by 2 6-foot safeties.
Didn't make sense.
And he still caught it.
Nothing about it like that made sense, yo. That's why I'm just like, come on.
Well, I should went retarded. But yeah, for Slam Dunk though, Slam Dunk, I would like to remake the remake and then to further the story, but with the animation of Kuroko no Basket minus the theatrics, I say. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what you're going
that's
for.
what I'm saying. Like,
minus
less theatrics.
Okay, minus the over the top theatrics. Like we don't need nobody in Kuroko no Basket. You can still hit a full court shot. It's just not going to be used like in perfect shooting form. It's going to be like
I don't know. See, that's the thing. I don't know how I would want the characters drawn because there's a couple of different things out there. There's a couple of different like animes I'd point to in terms of like how character design. And ironically enough, whatever that ballroom dancing nonsense, the anime like
I didn't watch that. And it had nothing to do with what you're thinking.
No. I'm just saying, I was shown that, and I was like, it's drawn really well.
It can be drawn.
Really well.
All right, let me just talk about that real quick before like somebody labels me like, oh, you're just so insensitive. You don't like to watch new stuff. Listen, I'm just not a fan of ballroom. If you would have had some break dancing or like, I guess.
Now you're playing stereotypes, man.
Why you gotta put me on the side? It's exciting. Isn't nothing exciting about ballroom? Look at that pirouette. Look at them. They glide across the floor.
Some people
so
like
gracefully.
the grace and skill, man. You gotta let people have.
I'd be cool.
Man.
It'd be cool if you had like some dope suits and all that stuff. I'm with that. I'm with the high fashion. I can take that. But but like as far as drawing, why not? I just thought about something. What about the cats that draw like who's the cat that draws all the stuff for Capcom?
You talking about the Udon artist?
Yeah,
Udon has like Capcom has a very.
I'm not saying I would want that art style, but if they chose to do it, I'm not even gonna lie. I'd be a little bit interested until we get to the black characters.
No. See, here's the thing. Like, I have a bunch of Capcom like art books. Like, that would be because there's several artists that draw for Capcom that I'd be okay with. Like Alvin Lee is probably at the top for that. Alvin Lee does like some dope artwork. There's what's the guy I follow on Instagram? He goes by the Chamba. Like he has some pretty dope art. There's some names I'm forgetting off the top of my head, but like Udon, like any one of those artists that like draw for like work on the Udon would be pretty dope. I can get behind that.
Yeah, I mean that's if you want to change the art style. You can still, like you said earlier, you can still keep the art style like what Megalobox is doing. Have a vintage art style with like I guess is updated. I guess up to date animations.
Yeah,
and that would be dope. I'm not against it. If you want to go a Kuroko no Basket with like I guess a more refined style, that'd be cool too.
Or actually, what's the volleyball one? Haiku's animation is dope too. I like that. Their character design and animation are pretty cool.
I'm surprised you didn't go with your boy for Prince of Tennis. Prince of Tennis.
Prince of Tennis is just ridiculous, man.
Straight up the theatrics that you don't like.
It's just like Prince of Tennis was like a guilty pleasure though, because like it was like at the time it was like this is so ridiculous, it's cool.
Yeah.
But then like you see that again and like Kuroko, you were like every time I watch like an episode of Kuroko, I'm like this is like Prince of Tennis. This is that ridiculous right now.
Hey man.
There was moments where it's cool. Then there was moments where it's like a basic move in basketball shouldn't be a superpower. Like a pass should not look like a beam. Like it just shouldn't look like that.
This dude is a beam that bends corners.
I'm like, what?
On forwards.
I'm like, what?
Keep spinning.
No, it's alright. It's alright. I'm like, just some type of sense, man. That's all I'm asking. Like the perfect balance of that would be like maybe slightly above Ippo. Yeah. Like that's in terms of like that's how I'd want it to like function.
Okay. So characters. Okay, we got the main cast. Main cast will still be coming back. I would like an introduction of new characters, not necessarily American characters. I would like a steady flow of international characters. They did make references in the original anime, you know, because the obvious one is like the Bulls, the early 90s
no,
Bulls.
Keep that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying like they did make references, but I'm talking about like as far as integrating new characters into the series, into the remake, the retelling. I would like you to introduce maybe some more like Japanese characters like that's around Japan that's out there hooping for real. You know, just like have some names. Like remember like NBA Street, just to have to be like some legends out here somewhere.
That would be cool.
Some of these cats could get like, you know, in tune with like let Hanamichi actually go meet a cat like a dope power forward that went to the league and you know came back. He retired. He came back. He's floating around Japan. Kind of like how Akeem Olajuwon right now is like over here in the States, just like kind of training cats or whatever. Had that cat be like a mentor to him, and like had that cat like have some recollection of like memories of him in the States. You know, out here just like, you know, balling with the best of them. And don't let him be like a scrub. Don't just say like, oh, he was good in high school and college. He went to the NBA. He was alright. Came in. Nah, let this cat like name. Because, you know, Slam Dunk is still like, you know, make believe. Anyway, but like had this cat be up there with one of the greats. Like, yo, this cat is like a legit like Hall of Famer out here who did it. And he's trying to train you because he sees potential in you. And that's what this whole series is about. Hanamichi, like, finding something to, like, you know, instead of being, like, a delinquent, finding something to put his heart and soul into. And he fell in love. He first did it for a girl, and now he's doing it for the love of the sport. And had that cat, like, put his energy to good use, I guess. And, like, when he gets mentored by him, you know, and that's when the dude opens his eyes up. I'm like, you know about America, how it's like the mecca of basketball, man. Why don't you go over there and test yourself? And then you might spin off a whole nother arc on that. We might have. That's something I wish Kuroko no Basket would do. I know we keep making a lot of references to Kuroko no Basket, or Kuroko's basketball, but I was kind of hoping that Kuroko's basketball would have taken that same route instead of ended it with the Jabberwock shit. But that's in a whole nother video I'm gonna do. But with this, I would like for Hanamichi to actually do that and go to America, and then we might have a whole nother arc with this cat, like either going to the G League, getting picked up by well, this will be in the 90s. Well, probably would be we could make it today's day. We're gonna start all the way over. And like just have this cat going to America, basically working himself up. Or because he's still in high school, let this cat get a scholarship. Try out college basketball in America, and then we go from there. Like I'm saying, there's so many routes you can go with a remake with it. And I think like the introduction of new characters would be cool too, because you get characters from different backgrounds, different pedigrees all around the U.S. So there's plenty of potential to introduce interesting characters if you choose to go that route.
No, for sure. No, I completely agree with that. But let me backpedal for a second. I don't want it to seem like I'm against like ridiculous things happening on the court. Like I'm all for like the tropes, because that still makes like a good anime. Like you gotta have like the unbeatable like crazy defensive like power forward, or like the crazy quick agile like 1 or 2 guard like on a team that's just like obviously they star player. Like every team needs to have some type. You need to have your hero, your villain like on everything. That has to be there, because you got to have that dynamic. But I'm just saying, like, there's a balance. You got to have your groundedness in like your anime, and your like spots of like Prince of Tennis or Kuroko no Basket. You got to have those ridiculous moments, but just not so over the top, and like not every episode, because then it becomes like less about like the storylines and like more about like what kind of dumb shit is he gonna do next, like in the next episode.
Yeah. I don't know why you ain't gotta defend yourself, man. You better say that with your chest.
I'm just saying, like you gotta,
don't make yourself clear. This is the internet.
No,
you will get crucified regardless. So,
all right, well, come at me then, but
exactly, say it with your chest. Also, like back to the characters thing. For the love of God, get the black people right. That's all I got to say. I'm gonna leave it at that for me. Yeah, you go ahead.
I mean, yes, like I'm not gonna get on like a representation like soapbox, but
it ain't about representation. It is about representation, but at the same time, like every black person you meet is not gonna have their tongue out in the grotesque way. Hey, give it here, bitch. Ain't nobody gonna do that all the time.
True,
which pissed me off about. I know I said I wasn't gonna. I keep going to Kuroko no Basket, but god damn it, when they met the Jabberwock in this one, the main black cat is just I'm talking about just belligerent, ignorant, tongue out, Michael Jordan face, 50% of the time. It bothered me. I'm not gonna lie, but
that's what I'm saying. Like, there's again, I'm gonna not get political on this, but. The fact,
it's truth. Stop spitting on my truth. Oh, I'm sorry.
It is what it is. Excuse me, but it's just you have to. It's a very obvious thing when you're doing like people of color, like in anime specifically, because if you can't do it right, it's very obvious. Like. If you get anywhere remotely close to like, a Jim Crow poster, people gonna let you know. That's why I was like proud of like, how
how's it
no.
Why you say it like that?
No, because there's one specific like.
Oh, you talking about when he got sad and his face is dry, like, oh.
The dude that he fought. They put his mouthpiece back. He was like, okay, like you remember what I'm saying? Like when he got he was getting beat. The black dude. That was Jason.
Yeah, it was Jason, featherweight.
Yeah, he just started talking English for no reason. Like he was.
No, y'all don't understand. Y'all gotta watch the first season of Hajime no Ippo. Man, he fights a cat named Jason. Dude's in the Air Force. Now, Jalen said like his family didn't want him. They abandoned him, son. He just ended up going to the military, ended up in Japan alone, and then this Japanese family adopted him basically.
For whatever reason.
And like he's over here, he talks like he talks very slow Japanese. I'm talking about like no, oh man, no son. It's like he's like constantly like it's like a slave him, but like freaking chopped and screwed.
That's why we gotta stay away. Just like the black dude from Dragon Ball.
Which one?
The bald dude, like the black dude with like the pink lips. Shit I'm talking about.
Which one? You talking about
the
generic guy?
The dude that was under what's that general from Dragon Ball?
General Tao?
That dude that was under him.
I just remember General Tao, General Soul Chicken. Wait, they had no correlation at all. My bad. Go ahead.
You're hungry, man. Whatever. But like, we got to get away from that. And then there's another like
we got Piccolo.
I mean,
Piccolo.
Piccolo's based, like, in my opinion, Piccolo's based off of more. Like, that's like, it's way too close or too much of a coincidence. His garbs and everything is like very, very similar to like what a Moor would be wearing. But it is what it is. Piccolo's a dope character regardless, like, at least in my opinion. But I don't know, in terms of like doing like black people right, it's just like they can't be the biggest dude or person like in the room. You can't be like, I know it's like a Japanese like anime, that was redundant. I know it's anime, but you can't have a team full of like black guys and they all 6'8", and like everybody on the other team was like 5'5", 5'11" at the most,
and they win it with spirit and grit.
No,
guts.
I'm like, no. If like less than 6 foot, team comes up against like everybody that's like LeBron's side, they better get dominated. I don't want to hear nothing about heart and skill. No,
that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be spirit, guts, and threes. It's gonna be hella threes. It's gonna be Steph Curry threes, half court. Remember in 2K9 when you could just walk up with dirt and hit half court shots. Automatically, that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be every time. Just up the court.
And then like, see the thing about that. It's like, okay, that leaves only one way for the writing to go when you have situations like that. It's like the other team is clearly outmatched physically. It's just obvious. You got a team full of like, 6 foot plus, black guys. What are like the smaller people gonna do? No, we're gonna outthink them. That's the only way. That's the only way. Because you're not going to tell me a 5'11" dude's finna like just like run across like a 6'8" dude's chest and like dunk on him like for no reason. You're not going to tell me that's going to happen.
Listen, everybody can jump. If you believe you can achieve, we got the airwalk.
See? You see when you say it out loud, it sounds like, come on. You know what I mean? You gotta.
We are on one
balance,
hell of a tangent. Sorry about that. So. Back on topic. Yeah, characters and for Slam Dunk. Yeah, man, as long as you, I guess, not necessarily pay homage, but like, I guess, do your due diligence when creating them. And like, remember, if you choose to like bring the story, like bring Hanamichi to America, there is a diverse. America is very diverse, and you have plenty of like, I guess, personalities and character traits you could choose from for like characters from different backgrounds. So it's, basically just do your due diligence with it. And then I think that would make the remake that much better.
Yeah, definitely. Like again, like writing is a huge part of like any successful series. Like you look at Detective Conan, look at like how long that's went, like One Piece, like any of those, several hundred like chapters and like episode like series. It's because the writing stayed good. Like look at examples of like Bleach and Naruto. Like, boy, they fell off because the writing got terrible.
Quick story. I said that in a Reddit and I got crucified. Don't
you know, whatever. Yeah. Naruto, Bleach. I'm sorry, y'all fans. Writing it's terrible. It is terrible. It's ass. Is what it is. I'm sorry. Like I don't care about Boruto. I don't care about none of that. Like it's all ass.
So if y'all didn't stick around and y'all just left, and y'all just hear this on a snippet. This might cause my first hate comment. I thank you for that, brother.
Hey, you know, whatever, man. Like you gotta be real.
But you did hit on something for the final point. What I think I would want it if this has to be the key for anything. The writing, as you said, the plot, if continued, you're not doing a plot from scratch. If continued, the writing has to be on point. Like, I mean, no lazy, like, I guess they're gonna win because of grit. Like, in this sports anime, this is what I liked about Slam Dunk. You didn't win. They didn't win when they was like I guess as a stereotypical protagonist of a shonen genre or whatever, where they just like they get beat, but then they find a way to pull themselves up. Sometimes you just get beat, and that's fine. That's fine, especially in sports. So losing can happen for the better. It helps develop you along, and especially if you're like, unless you're like weak-willed or whatever, and you just like, you know, take it as you can. But like that, I think I like that about Slam Dunk, because even in the end of the original, when they beat like the colossal giant in front of them who was said to like win the championship, they lost the next one. And why did they lose? They lose because it made sense, because they were exhausted. Like the whole team was depleted. And then you had to play a game the next day.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like you have to like. Everybody roots for an underdog, right? Yeah. Everybody roots for the underdog. So you can't have the hero on the team, or just like the team being the hero, what have you. You can't just say like, oh, they're gonna win because plot, because he's the hero, he's supposed to win. No, I mean, you have to like, if the writing's good enough, your audience is not gonna know like what's gonna happen. They're always gonna be like on the edge in terms of like, is he gonna go down? Is he gonna win? Is what's gonna happen? That's good writing. To have a flaw, like losing a championship or losing a crucial like game before the championship or something, you have to have that, because otherwise you're like, that element of the plot becomes expected. You're like, oh, they're gonna win, but because they just found a way every episode. No, they need to take a beating like at some point, so it gives them some type of like determination, like some type of like, that's I forget what that's a term from my like writing class, I can't remember, but you got to have some type of like downfall and like trials for the hero, so they can overcome and then get to like a proper climax where like they're the like underdog team, or like there's a, for whatever reason they got a hurt player or like something like that, and then they're going against like the fresh dominant juggernaut of like whatever league they're in, and they put up a valiant effort, but they lose. That would be more entertaining than them just going out there and like turning into like the Power Rangers and like dominating a basketball game. That makes sense. I would appreciate better writing than like a lot of flashing lights like during that episode. Okay.
So basically, what we're trying to say is, if Slam Dunk implements anything we just said, watching it.
Oh, without question. Like I've actually been like wondering if they were gonna do a remake of Slam Dunk. I mean, because if you can go back to get like a Shida no Joe, which is really old, you can get Slam Dunk.
What? Hell no. As much as I would want that, I doubt they're gonna do it. But yes, if they do decide to remake it and they bring it back up, spit, span, new, that 2018, 2019 smell, I'm in there, baby. Day one, always. So
without question, man.
So yeah, that's it, guys. That's it to the video. Thank you to my special guest, ifightevil. Where can they find you at, brother?
Hit me up on Instagram. I got other things in the works, other links to other projects that I'm going to be working on. But yeah, Instagram is where you're going to find me for the most part at ifightevil.
Why do we always do that? It's like every time black person's like introduce me, like, "Hey, brother, you come up here. Hey, sister, yeah." Why we always do that shit,
man? We got positive energy going on, man. You know, we can't throw out N-word every time. You know,
don't feel natural. That time me go my savage ways. Whatever, y'all. It's been the Honorable Senpai. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. Go ahead, drop a like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. And also share the video and comment in the comment section. Would you be down for a Slam Dunk remake? Or if you don't know what Slam Dunk is, or you want to go like watch the original and tell us your thoughts on it. Anyway, we'll be here. Honorable Senpai. Peace.